What's up, everyone? It's me, Adam Prime, and I was not getting egged on off recording.
Definitely was not mocking you whatsoever.
You were making faces and stuff. The audio can't hear this.
It's funny when you mess up. You're cute.
So yeah, what's up? It's This Week in Toku, brought to you by the TokuBrew podcast, or whatever else we fucking actually call it. I'm not... Oh, shoot. I don't think we're supposed to curse in the first minute.
I think it's like the first 16 seconds, if I remember.
Either way, we might have messed up, but whatever. I'm not monetizing this shit, so...
Do you want to start over?
No.
Okay.
We're not starting over.
We're doing it live!
Just keep going. So...
This Week in Toku.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Stormy.
Yes, with me as always, my very lovely co-host fiance. And, you know...
Call me a co-ho?
I said co-host.
You like...
What, do you think I was trying to say Toho? Do you want to start over? You alright?
I don't know.
Just keep going.
I guess so. At least it's funny, I guess.
Yeah, nothing really that interesting in the news, and anything about the news we'll talk about during the shows. Honestly. Like, true story, all the news is just, like, any news that you would even be aware of, like, you find out in, like, this episode, so, yeah. So we'll just get to those talking points in that. So let's talk about this week's Decker. Oh, shit.
Yes, definitely all 3 shows.
Did I say 3 shows earlier?
No, you didn't. I was
yeah.
saying our totally normal thing.
Yeah. What was your favorite part of Decker this week?
I feel like this episode's a catastrophe already. You know what? I don't feel like a lot happened.
not much. We didn't watch the new Chronicle show, but whatever.
The what show?
That's how often what these shows are called, like the recap shows.
Yeah, the ones.
Like they're like often people call them Chronicle shows. So.
Okay.
We're not watching it, but Decker's over. Boo.
You know what's funny? I really do miss Decker. It was just such like a nice like. I almost want to say palate cleanser, you know, of just like it was just something like. It was really nice, you know. It wasn't like super intense, dense plot like what's happening in Geats and Donbrothers.
To be fair, Donbrothers is ending.
Yeah, it's obviously it's only this dense because they're ending. And Geats is just a fucking crazy show, so.
That one's just insane.
That is insane! Wow!
Whoa, real language talk, people, yes.
Well, what would you like to talk about first?
Well, what about to say? We do as we've been doing.
Donbrothers?
Donbrothers is first. How about saying, unless you want to change it, do you want to talk about Geats first?
No, I'm cool with talking about Donbrothers.
Oh.
Ooh, guys, I'm just gonna say, like, I've said this before, I'm gonna renew this status because we are in the end game when it comes to this show. I feel like a lot of shit's gonna get spoiled. If you haven't, you know the drill by this point, but, like, a lot of plot is starting to come together, so I'd mention it.
Yeah. That goes for both shows.
Yeah.
So, anything from here on out, you've been warned, we do talk about spoilers. But yeah.
God, how does it
open? It opens up with Taro in the forest, like how it ended last time.
Oh yeah, it did end with that, didn't it?
Yeah, and then with Taro in the forest, after he ate the penguin origami. And Taro's awake. Just in the forest.
He was like mocking them. He's like, God, hurry up and copy me already.
God, you guys are in, like, God,
and then
guys aren't effective.
And then, Jiro's dad, I almost said Taro's dad. And Jiro's dad actually, like, walks over just like, oh, you're awake.
Yeah, Tarasaki. Yeah, he was like, oh, that was a stupid move. And, like, you see his dead body there. His, like, old man body.
Dying. He's not dead.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But he's just like, He's like, well, I should do the forest anyway. He's like, yeah, I guess you have a point. Whatever.
He's like, this is my responsibility or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Taro's taking responsibility for this. And then we pretty much go to the Naoto, who get kicked out of their house.
Yeah, they get kicked out.
Like...
They're just kind of homeless on this roof.
Yeah, there's even a line about them being homeless.
Yeah.
And they were just like, all right, we just gotta go see if the Donbrothers will form an alliance.
I guess so. And they're just like, you've done a lot of terrible shit, and Taro's not here, so I don't know how he'd react. I feel like you need to be a bit more sincere than just walking in here and saying you're sorry.
So we need, like, something. And, like, what's her face? Sononi.
She plays right into his hands.
Yeah,
or plays she plays into her hands?
No, she's just like, oh, you could teach me how to do
teach me how to do haiku, because she knows he has a thing for her, and he, like, lights up.
And then immediately is just like, no!
No, I've almost tricked to it.
And then you have Kaido, who's just like,
give me money!
Yeah, exactly. Just, money works.
Just, no.
And... yeah.
Does anything else really happen with them? Like, do you want to talk about more about the Cyberian stuff, or?
Well, do we want to do the other Naoto stuff and then do the rest of the Bestial stuff?
Yes,
for the end.
I feel like everything with like Jiro, Taro, and Inoue brother kind of go together well, and then that can lead into like the ending pretty good.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I don't feel like there's that much more to talk about.
For the Naoto or the Noto.
Yeah. So they're like sitting on their roof.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, he mentioned money. Like,
oh, yeah, they were just like, yeah, he was like, oh, does anyone have any money left?
Because they had, like, some sort of, like, account or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And apparently, please remind me of their names, because I always forget.
You got, like, Sonoi, wait, the other ones?
Fucking...
The new ones or the old?
The brown
one.
Oh,
Sonaza.
The one name you didn't say.
Oh, Sonaza.
Yeah, so apparently he spent all of his money on, like, manga.
Rare manga.
Rare manga.
For
Sononi,
research.
Of course, yes. And Sononi spent on like a bunch of beauty salons and stuff. And of course, Sonoi spent it all on Odin. So it's just like manga, beauty salons, and food. It's just like, you know what? Well spent.
Yeah, and they were just like, I can't...
Well, how can we like show sincerity that... So they go to get the Ring of Sticky Notes, the Ring of Forgiveness, or
yeah, the Ring of Forgiveness.
And it's like, oh, that's in the Bestial Forest. And I think the 3 new people show up, start beating their asses, and then
yeah, and they're immediately just like, oh yeah, that's when they called them. Like they say, oh,
when
it's a sad picture.
When they make fun of them for being homeless.
Yeah.
And then Sonoi like stays behind so the others can like run off. It's like, what a bro! Like
he is the most capable of the group, though.
I was just gonna say, like, you can tell he really cares about, you know, his companions.
His little friends. And you just... Yeah, then he goes to the thing of sticky notes, which we find out what the Ring of Forgiveness is, which we're just gonna state here, because...
We see it later. And it all intertwines with stuff later. So I think we should get on to Jiro, Taro, Tsubasa, and the Bestials.
So, yeah, Tsubasa's trying to tell Jiro that
he's crazy.
Yeah, that there's something wrong with him.
And then he's just like, he thinks obviously that he must know something about the Bestial Forest and how to get to it so he can help Natsumi. And Jiro's just like, I got fucking nothing. But like, I don't know, this like Miho and this Natsumi, are you sure that they're even real? It's kind of sketchy.
He immediately.
And Tsubasa's like actually offended.
he says what we're all saying. Talk. Yeah, he's like, you don't get to say that. Mm-hmm. You of all people do not have the right.
Yeah, but and they end up having like I think a separate conversation even, where he's just like, hey, Taro is a bestial now, because Taro just freaking walks up.
Just smacks them both to the ground. Or smacks Inoue.
He just, like, takes their lunch money, basically. Yeah,
and then leaves.
But yeah, like, because he has a conversation, like, with Tsubasa about Taro, because did they see him while he was still, like, all, like, or something like that?
Well, yeah, no, he just pops out, and they're like, yeah, he was a bestial now. He turned into one.
Because, Tsubasa has been carrying around this manga since last episode, And he's like, it's always a full moon. And
so where they're at?
Because like he looked and he saw that the moon there was always full. Like it was when it was a crescent moon the day before.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why like they're in the house, because he like ran back to go look at the manga, and he's just like, hey, like Jiro runs in after him, like, what the heck is going on? Nothing is making sense.
Why is Taro a bestial? He's like, he did it to stop you from becoming a bestial.
And then he's just like, what? And his dad walks in. He's like, he's telling the truth. You better believe him. And then he tells him basically everything of just, I was
raised you to take my place, and you're supposed to guard the
forest, and like you and me like are the only people that are like actually here. I created those illusions so that
you could be happy.
You could be happy, maybe feel a little less lonely or whatever he said.
Oh yeah, but it's like, and then he even goes, he's like, it starts with the despair of the Dawn Clan, because he immediately admits, which you had said, which I guess.
Yeah, I don't remember where it is, but I could have sworn that there was a moment where like this kind of got explained a little bit of like what the bestials were, and I said like, oh, they were basically like an alternative food source to humans, like they were like created by the Dawn Clan. I think like you must have like misheard, or like maybe like some of the wires didn't get crossed or something, because like you were just like, nuh-uh, like in the podcast too.
Yeah.
And then here it is right here.
Now here's me being a jackass.
A jackass. So in the effort to create a replacement, the bestials were born. Right there.
Yeah, it stays it right there.
Mm-hmm. Can I just say, fucking poor Jiro, man.
Yeah, Jiro just has his whole world.
His whole world gets shattered. Also, I'd like to point out that the penguin bestial has more eyes than everybody else. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so this big confrontation happens where he explains that, like, essentially the Dawn Clan, like, they tried to make an alternative source to humans because
but
they
it
liked
failed.
The humans, and it failed, so they locked them in the forest. So it is their job to guard it. And, like, that's essentially, like, kind of, like, what's been going on, of just...
And and pretty much Jiro gets told, Taro took your place.
Yeah, he's in your spot right now, like,
and
I'm dying. I am going to die soon.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like,
and
Jiro's so upset, which justifiably.
Yeah, and we do have a small moment with like bestial Taro walking around, and then the crane comes up and just fucking slaps the shit out of him, and it's just like you're.
Oh, like pretty much recalibrates him.
Oh yeah, thanks for that. And he's like, oh, why are you helping me? And she starts to say something, but then like kind of walks away from it. I think she's also kind of like becoming.
I'm done.
Like, I kind of like the humans now, like, you know.
And or she's like, I've been hurt by humans
or
now.
I
don't want this.
But anyway, so Taro strolls up, actually like, you know, conscious.
Well, yeah, it's like he's just acting normal, like.
And we actually see how you can get into the forest, which is if there's a full moon reflecting on water, it's a gateway.
And, or at least in the village, which like they Mario 64 into it, and or Blue's Clues into it.
Blue's could do, we can too.
Whip! Ah! It falls into the pool. But yeah,
the pool's just suddenly like dry and they break their necks.
Long story short, it's shown that Taro is possessing the bestial instead of vice versa.
Because like he's still awake, hanging from the vines. He's like, good job or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he like unpossesses it and it like runs away.
It
like,
fucking
holy shit!
It just like okay, wait. It knew what was about to happen.
Yeah, it's just like, oh hell no, I'm not sticking around for this. Like so, yeah. And you know the dad walks up again and he's just like, oh, the penguins are, what was it, a representation? What did he say?
Well, no.
The symbol of like the Dawn.
Well, no, that was earlier when they were talking about. Yeah. Well, no, it wasn't. It was just like saying.
Look, man, they've been going in and out of the forest a lot. Okay, it's hard to keep track.
Yeah, I imagine, but like, yeah, that's what they were saying early on.
That's what happened. Like.
So I think only Dawn Clan members can become penguins. I think that's how it works.
And I think maybe they're like the only ones that can like truly like possess the bestial instead of the other way around, because obviously we saw that like we were questioning, it's like, oh, how is he just like
just normal,
like, oh, his consciousness is now just in a bestial body rather than he's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. So
and
where it's hard to tell, but
yeah, so Tsubasa and Taro are in the forest, and Taro frees himself, and
Natsumi
frees Natsumi. She's still unconscious for the moment. And the dad actually, this is when Sonoe
shows
in,
up
looking for the wheel of fortune.
Yeah, exactly. And he's immediately just like, and he legitimately just says after he hears that, he's like, you came to free all the people you've purged.
And it's like, oh, maybe they actually are changing. This is such a nice thing.
Yeah, because he even said, he's like, oh, it was the Naoto that like drove them to trying to do this. Like it made them sad. And
does it happen? Does like the wheel thing happen then, or is it after?
It's after.
So anyway, Taro puts on his golden armor.
He just transforms after they start fighting them in the forest, and just fucking annihilates them.
Not everyone, just like he all of the people dropped from the trees. He is in shining golden armor. This actor looks like he was made to be in shining armor. And I think I may have already talked about that. But yeah, so the people are all plopped on the ground. He burns all of the origami. Oh, he spat the origami out, by the way.
Yeah, that was gone.
And just like goes nuts and just flamethrowers everything.
He literally just says the bestials. He's like, you guys are no longer. He's like, your existence is not wrong. I don't want to kill you, but you're fucking with people and attacking people. You have to fucking stay in the forest. Mm-hmm. You're not allowed to leave.
Anyone that objects can face me or whatever.
Yeah, and it's like, and since they're vulnerable, they're probably like, fuck that shit.
But so Sonoe goes and he like
turns the wheel.
This thing is just like hovering midair. He just kind of goes around and he spins it, and all the people in the cubes, including Kaji brother,
are back.
They fly about, and they are back now, which includes the weird hair serial killer guy. If you think about it.
Yeah, like nobody gonna stop him.
Maybe you shouldn't have freed that one.
Yeah, maybe there's a reason he died. Mm-hmm. And then we pretty much get the team up of the century.
Yeah, all of the boys are finally here.
Yeah, the Naoto trio, which I guess they're no longer Naoto, so I guess the Donbrothers and Sonoe and them.
And you know what? Like, at least this one's real, like, because the other one was like half fake.
Yeah. Oh yeah, wait. I'm realizing we didn't talk about the crane getting attacked.
Yeah, so the crane has been like
fighting off cats.
Before we do that, I think we should wrap up Jiro.
Oh, yeah.
Because Jiro has like one more scene where like he's just like, they keep saying that he's like talking to all of his friends, and he's just like, they keep saying that you guys are illusions, but you're right in front of me. And they're like, yep, definitely. And then he like turns around and becomes Torvald for like literally a second, until they start to fade away, just being like, good luck, we believe in you.
And he just immediately snaps back, and then
immediately back into Jiro. And, like, they're, like, fading away. And if you think about it, this is basically his dad figure, I guess. Like, his father figure.
The penguin.
That's, like, giving him one last good look.
Because, yeah, like, right after that scene is when he...
Because he, like, randomly dropped in the middle of a fucking conversation, and it was just like...
Yeah, just
and then, like, as, like, they fade away, and Jiro is just hunched over crying. Like, the bestial, like...
The illusion's over.
The illusion disappears, and the bestial dissipates, and the body's in the background. You can assume he's dead. So it was very emotional and very sad.
But hey, we got that sweet fight afterwards. I'm not crying. You're crying.
Anyway, so Tsubasa has Natsumi, and she wakes up, and it's finally her. You know, she's finally awake.
It's not a dream.
And he's just like, you're awake, and...
Yeah, and she's...
This whole Miho thing, I think, really fucked him up, because he's just like, it's just not... There's only me. Thank God. And, me and the crane... I guess we could probably call the crane Miho, right?
Yeah, Miho.
She's been, like, fighting off the cat ones. Just
cats left and right.
And, like, and she realizes now that, like, all the people are free from the forest, they can die. And... they just start mauling her. Like, she's able to get a couple of them, but she's, like, floating down a river. And it actually kind of made me sad when, like, the signs were, like, floating around her in the water. We do see her, like, kind of float down the river and then go...
Oh, I don't know how Kaji Brothers gonna handle this.
And then she, like, goes into, like, the moon portal, you know, into the forest. So there's a possibility she's still around, I imagine. So
I hope she just stays in the forest. Learn your place.
I honestly, like, you know how I said it's like, oh, I wonder if it'll be a thing where, like, the Natsumi is freed and Miho is a separate person, and then she goes off to be with, like, Kaji Brother or something. I almost wonder if they're actually going to try and
I don't want them to do that.
I don't want them to either, if only just because, again, I feel like the Crane is, like, kind of a very toxic person, so very manipulative, a lot of lies, made a person
But she can't lie,
snap.
Stormy.
Well, I mean, you can still manipulate, though.
That's fair.
It's just, I don't know. Like,
And that's pretty much how it ends.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just a really good, but really fucking depressing episode, man.
And, yeah, the only thing interesting in the preview I feel like that's worth mentioning, Taro's dad's there?
Yeah, and he's not in electric prison.
Yeah.
He's just, like...
There, he's fine.
In the
like,
cafe.
this is the first time we're seeing him with Taro.
Oh my gosh, you think the cafe is called Natso?
No, it's the Donbra.
No, because the other one was colorful, and this one is not so colorful.
Oh my god. Oh no. God. Alright,
I
Geats.
feel like I just heard Kaido booing in the distance. Boo!
Alright, okay.
Don't boo, Donbrothers.
Geats.
Whew.
Okay, there's a lot to unpack
There's
here.
a lot. There's a lot.
Let's get the simple plot. Fruit bombs.
Yeah, so... And, like, this is, like, very unexpected because apparently the gardener grew a fucking little terrorist that's, like, writing death.
Yeah, they're like, we got
threats.
this to
He's
management.
like, I'm so proud, like a proud dad and shit.
I love it. And it's just like,
So-
it's just one of the monsters wearing a fucking tracksuit.
Yeah, I think this might be, like, some sort of celebration because they said it was, like, a winter gift or something like that. So I wonder if it's just common to give gifts at a certain time of year, just randomly.
So yeah, because
So yeah, like they're delivering a bunch of fruits to people, and they are bombs, and they will blow up at sunset. And this was not a part of any of like the games. This was just kind of like
they just
an
started
emergency
attacking.
that happened, and they're just like, oh god.
Which, yeah. So Kaiwa's sister got one. Kaiwa, Tycoon. But Tycoon's sister immediately gets one of the pineapples. Is freaking out.
And I shit you not, guys. These things are like straight up like cartoon bombs where it has like a red wire and a blue wire. And it's like just
You can't if you cut
And,
the
like,
wrong one, you
it'll
will
blow
explode.
up. And she's like wrapped up in these vines. Just,
Which, by the way, earlier she was hitting it with a fucking hammer.
yeah, and they did confirm that like this was like targeted. It wasn't like a coincidence.
Yeah, it's like, why target our families? Because, yeah, nobody else got bombs.
Definitely. But yeah, so like they're going around and they're trying to stop these guys, and like Keiwa is not fucking around. Like he kind of kept that resolve from last episode.
Yeah,
like,
he didn't hesitate to kill any of these
which is
fuckers.
something that you said of just like, yeah, just no hesitation whatsoever. And also the fact of just they are fucking with his family, that is just like, ooh, extra spicy, you know?
Yeah.
Like he's extra mad.
So, yeah, by the way, so immediately after he figures out, he's like, oh my god, wait, the bombs, he immediately goes to find his sister, who's just tied up by these wires, like you said, and I like that the pineapple's just there.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, how did this happen? Like, what were the events that led to this? Also, Geats got Magnum.
Yeah, he got Magnum because he cleared a secret mission
Set by...
specifically for him from a sponsor, and it was delivered by a cute little spider phone.
Well, yeah,
You
that's
gave him
always
a little,
happens.
You gave him a little tickle.
Give him a little boop.
A little boop.
And then Neon's mom sees this.
Yeah, so for whatever reason, Neon's dad brought her mom. I assume his wife. I don't want to assume, but like I'm gonna.
I assume that's
just like
his
to
wife.
like the viewing area with like the couch.
Well,
and
she
everything.
found out because you remember she was asking him last time we saw her, which was like 5 or 6 episodes ago, being like when she gave her gave Neon the driver. Like after that, she's like, "What is this?" He's like,
What is this?
I like how he's just like
Found this in her sock drawer."
he's just like, "Oh yeah, I was fucking supposed to tell you about that."
And she's furious.
She's like, "What?"
She's so pissed. She like immediately called. First of all, the second the guy leaves, I don't know if like someone told this actress to throw these books or if it was an improv moment, but I was like, oh, are those real books? And then she threw them and they broke, and I was like, oh, those were not real books.
Also, I don't think this cabinet was supposed to open.
There's like this cabinet that like opens up, and it's just like, ah, dude.
It's like empty.
I wonder if it was an accident. They just decided to keep it in because they thought it was funny or good or something. And she calls Neon, and she's just like, fucking, this is bombs and crazy shit. Leave. I don't like this. And like they end up having a little bit of a deeper conversation of.
She was like, oh, I did this for your happiness.
Like, because she's like, oh, I wasn't allowed to have friends. I wasn't allowed to fall in love. Like, my happiness was taken from me. Or, like, my life was taken... Or I wasn't allowed to live my life or something like that.
I wasn't allowed to love, I think.
Whatever it specifically was. And then her mom was like, oh, I was doing it for your happiness. And she's like, you know what? I'm gonna make my own happiness from now on. And hangs up on her. And I was just like, fuck yeah, girl. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You tell her how it is.
I like how also, like you said, her, like, Time Fire, because I don't remember his actual name. Time Fire, rather than just saying Neon's dad the whole time. Time Fire was just like, he's like, yeah, but she can get the fucking world she wants.
She's saving the world and whatever.
And he's just like, it shouldn't be a problem. She has a very influential supporter. Which I'm just like, he's just like saying, don't worry, daddy's got big pockets.
Now off to work.
Exactly. He's probably, we'll get to that in a second.
But anyway, so, cut to the gardener.
Back to Buffa time.
So.
He's planting Buffa.
He's planting Buffa's ID core, which will be very interesting.
Yeah, and he's just like, oh, cool.
And then the biggest twist that I did not expect.
A Jamato sponsor?
A Jamato sponsor. Someone is sponsoring the Jamato.
Yep.
And may I, excuse my pun, go out on a limb here.
What?
Go out on a limb.
The limb.
They're plants.
Oh.
The sponsor looks like Draculaura from Monster High. Like.
Oh, Bobara?
Yeah.
Bobara?
Yeah, it's
Boba Tea?
Baroba? But anyway, so she basically manipulates Buffa into, like, letting her sponsor him and, like, kind of sort of being on the Jamato's side, I guess.
Pretty much just be like, do you want to stay alive?
And get some money.
Well, not even get money. It's pretty much, because it sounds like he was about to just become mulch.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like, she's just like, you're too interesting. You're becoming a Jamato. And you see Buffa's gross hand.
And one of the things that I was wondering, I had mentioned this, and I don't know how much, I don't know if it's like, it has any legs to stand on, but I almost wonder if, like, because the gardener's whole goal is to kind of, like, make the Jamato smarter and smarter and more human-esque as they go, like, as they evolve, right?
I'm imagining. I don't know.
I'm wondering if Buffa is basically them starting from the other way and working their way back instead of, like, oh, they start with a human and slowly make them more and more and more Jamato.
That might be what's happening. Because, again, she's like, oh, I can grant you your ideal world, like the power to destroy any Kamen Rider.
No Grand Prix for that.
Yeah, exactly. So he pretty much, I guess, just accepts it.
I guess so. And so we go back to the players, and it's Tycoon, Nyago, and Lopo.
Well, no, I don't think Tycoon was there yet.
Oh yeah, I think he comes.
I think it was just Neon and Lopo.
And like, you know, they're like, they just got back from, like, you know, trying to find the source of all of these, like, fruit bombs, and they aren't really coming up with anything. And then she's like, hey, you mentioned that you had a little brother and a little sister. I forget what she asked.
She was like, oh, your family. What's your deal?
Family. What about it, you know?
Because I think it was her mentioning something being uneasy about them targeting their families.
Yeah. And I wonder if, like, I don't think Neon would probably be affected in that just because her dad is a sponsor.
Yeah, exactly. Could you imagine if they, like, targeted him?
Or the mom.
Oh, maybe that's why the dad brought her there, because he's just like, these fucking things are targeting us. Like, bitch wife, get back into the thing.
Bitch wife. But anyway, so Lopo starts to talk about her family and, like, what actually caused her to write what she did on her desire card. So, apparently, their dad got too sick to be able to run their family...
And died.
...business store. Did he die? No, I think he just said he got too...
No, he died. They said, he later passed away.
Oh.
That's why she had to be strong.
But yeah, like, she's just like, I want my siblings to be able to, like, achieve their dreams. Because apparently we see through, like, a variety of, like, photographs and stuff that they're also sporty people and they want to go far.
Well, yeah, exactly.
And she's just like, I need to be... The reason I wrote down, like, oh, I won't, like, degrade with age is so that I can keep working, so that I can keep supporting them. Which is the most depressing shit I've ever heard in my fucking life. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I feel like they're doing this on purpose, though.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna lie, overall, for me personally, I can tell you are really starting to like Lopo. I honestly am just like, on Lopo.
To grow on me. Because, again, they started off very, like, cool guys, standoffish.
Fucking assholes.
Like, I'm the lone wolf, ha ha ha, you know, kind of thing. But, I don't know, it's just, like, the more that, like, they've, like, kind of loosened up and opened up, especially to Neon, you know, it's just, I don't know, it's like, I'm kind of warming up to them.
Yeah.
But, so, I guess back to the writers.
But yeah, no, pretty much, oh yeah, so yeah, then I think that's when Tycoon and Geats show up.
Yeah, because they're like, we found people!
And...
We found the people.
Well, first the Game Master has to scare the shit out of Kaiwa.
Very funny.
And...
very funny screenshot we got from that.
It's so good.
If you want to take a look.
Just,
Boom!
That's probably right there. There we go.
Done and done.
Pretty much...
They're like, hey, we found the people.
Well, no, Kai was just like, oh, we gotta be so determined, and starts battling the truck, and is like, where's the pineapple?
Where are the pineapples at? There's so many, like, things that are talking about this pineapple out of context that I want to become memes so bad.
Exactly.
Just like, go find the pineapple, or
next time,
where's the pineapple?
Next time you're, like, in your house.
Where's the pineapple?
In your house, and you need to ask somebody where the pineapple's at. Just send them the screenshot of Tycoon.
Where's the pineapple? Or go find the pineapple. Anyway, so the truck explodes and he kills him in cold blood. And who else shows up but our boy Buffa? I'm realizing we never talked about the apple bomb that got thrown at them.
Oh yeah, an apple bomb got thrown at him.
During, like, the first round, the disaster threw an apple bomb at them.
It is to be assumed it's the disaster.
Yeah, because they had defeated all of the Jamato that were behind them, and it came from behind them.
And they're like, yeah, this don't make no sense.
Anyway, so...
Yeah. Fruit bomb.
Buffa boy shows up.
Buffa is just like... He's like, I'm fucking ready to fight you, Geats. And Geats is just like, what? And we get to see his sick new suit and everything.
And he's just like, go.
Tycoon, go!
Go. And because, like, the pineapple dude just fucking, like, runs into, like, this, like, warehouse.
Yeah, he keeps going.
He straight up just goes up to Lopo and ganks Zombie from them and just uses it.
So well, you don't even remember. It's like he had to just start looking for the pineapple again and just saw it and was just like, there the fuck he is!
Kill it!
Yeah, exactly. And, like, he just shuts this door.
Yeah, and he shut this door, and, like, Tycoon, like, just hit the door instead of trying to open it, which was really funny.
And then he
stole Zombie, and then he, like, cuts through the door. And
like a horror villain.
And just annihilates this Jamato.
No hesitation, just to find out what the wire it was.
Yeah, and he finds out
it was the red wire.
It was the red wire. I still don't exactly know why the red wire being left behind means that's what you have to cut, but I guess that makes sense, I guess.
Also, this Buffa fight was awesome.
This was a great fight. There's this one shot in particular that was really good. You also really liked it, where Geats, like, is, like, firing at Buffa, and Buffa, like, bends backwards, and they, like, fly over each other.
Yes, and then there's a moment...
And he, like, gets a nick in his horn from...
Yeah, because he gets a shoot shot.
He gets a shooty
But as we're watching that, it cuts to Geats' sponsor. And then somebody else walks into the room, and Ishinomori points a gun at them. Which is obviously definitely not a new toy they're gonna sell.
Definitely not.
There's no reason this gun is in focus more than the actor.
Definitely.
It is just coincidence. But it's
Draculaura.
It's Bubira.
It's Draculaura.
Got it. And he's just like, hey, this is no place for Jamato sponsors. And she's like, yeah, but I have a rider to root for now.
Yeah, because this is a place where you wholeheartedly, like, cheer for your whatever.
Your rider.
And then she's just like, what are you talking about?
And, like, I love this shot, though, where it's, like, both of them in, and then, like, on the screen is Buffa and Geats. Which, that's just such a good shot.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Which, by the way, as you know, there have been rumors of these gun riders, which, by the way, Ishinomori's real name is Gene. So we already knew Kamen Rider Gene is...
The actor or, like, the sponsor character?
The sponsor's the character the sponsor is.
Okay.
Because we already knew about the Arctic Fox Kamen Rider who uses the gun called Kamen Rider Gene.
Okay.
So we knew that he was gonna be it. So that's why he has one. But, like, it's to be assumed that the other... Because there's supposed to be, I think, 4 that use the guns, and it's assumed that it's going to be the sponsors. So, like, Neon's dad...
It makes kind of sense. Like, if you think about it, that's kind of, like, the next step, I would say. Of, like, how are you going to keep entertaining these people? Oh, they really like these characters. They really like the game. Let them get involved. You know? It kind of makes sense in my head. It's fucked up, but it makes sense.
Also, yeah.
So they go run. So Keiwa and Neon run back to his sister.
20 seconds left.
Oh my god! And she's just like, "Oh my god!" And this thing's like huge.
And
now.
you had to pause for dramatic effect.
He took his fucking sweet ass time, and it pissed me the fuck off. Like I was like, "Cut the fucking thing, dude!" And like. The acting in this scene is so good because you could see the actual just panic on all of their faces.
And then the relief.
And then when they cut it and it's like, it like looks like it's about to explode and then it like dissipates and everyone just collapses and just, we're not dead. And oh my gosh.
But yeah,
there's like such a cute moment between Keiwa
and all three of them
and his sister because like they started like cutely joke with each other of like, oh, what was it, just like, you don't even like pineapple. That's not true. Yes it is. You're like, okay, I was hungry.
I was lying.
Like you could just see like the panic sweat on their face, like they're clammy and pale.
She looks like she was crying.
They look like they were crying and they're like smiling and laughing because they're just like, we're alive. So it's like so many emotions happening.
Also, I forgot to mention earlier, there was a certain shot where I think they forgot to color correct the Tycoon ID core.
Oh yeah,
because it was blue.
For those who don't know, because like obviously there's a lot of green screen in Kamen Rider, especially this show, you know, with like the little like desert island that they end up on, there's a lot of green screen, so they actually, instead of making Tycoon's ID core actually green,
in some shots it is.
Yeah, it's yeah, obviously.
But like the heavily green,
they're not in front of a green screen. Why not just make it green and less work? But when they are, like, it's actually a blue ID core, and then they go and color correct it later. So fun fact.
So yeah.
But they forgot to color correct it in
like one of the opening scenes.
We have it on screen right now. And you can see that it's blue because I forgot.
So yeah, look at that ID core. I'm not gonna zoom in because I'm lazy.
Do you even know how?
Yes. Jeez. Calling me out on live.
I'm putting you on the spot. What can I say?
But yeah, no. Cut to Lord Reginald, who I think.
I don't even know what to really say about this scene though. Like he's being weird and eating like a fucking sushi bazooka thing. I think what this scene is meant to be is like he's scoping out for the next play area. I didn't think about that like the first time we watched it, but when you said it the second time, I was like, oh.
And then I guess he brought his lunch at the fucking weirdo.
Or something like he like almost deep throated that thing. I was about to be like, oh hell yeah, you eat that sushi.
And his assistant was just like, so the Jamato sponsor brought Buffa back in, which I know you didn't want.
And they also mentioned that, like, she's apparently been kind of fucking with the game for a while now.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, oh, how are we going to do this? And he's just like, I don't know, it's complicated. She's a sponsor.
Yeah, he's just, yeah, exactly.
I just want to know what it feels like to be alive or fucking whatever.
Well, no, he's like, I just want to see how real this world can feel.
Yeah, again, I really feel like your Matrix idea might have some merit to stand on. I really do.
Yeah, which, I guess let's get into this stuff now, because we see another user of the glare belt suit thing in Kamen Rider Gazer. It is called a gold, which is just a golden white glare.
Yeah, it's repaint essentially.
Which is whatever. Which I'm 90% sure it hasn't been confirmed yet. I'm 90% sure it's. They said his name in this episode. Like it was like Neelam or something like that. Nihilum or something like that. Whatever. Lord.
I like that name actually.
Like, yeah.
All right, and I gotta say, like, I know like you are kind of on the side of like, oh, you liked glares a little bit more.
Well, those are my favorite colors of all time, but this looks good.
That's like your favorite color combination. You like purple, red, and black, and that's like your favorite. It's like I can't argue with you because I know that's your favorite. Like that would be like me if there was like a pink, blue, and purple one. I'd just be like that's for me. But I actually really like this white and gold look. A lot of people aren't liking it, but like I really dig it.
I dig it.
I think it looks.
I can't deny it.
Very elegant.
Yeah, they definitely need to reuse this belt, which I'm imagining it's gonna come with ID cards for both of these characters.
Something like that. Either way, I think the suit looks really cool.
But yeah, no, I'm 90% sure that's gonna be Reginald.
Probably. Or I love the joke of like, oh, I wonder if it's gonna be his assistant because they just have them do everything for him.
Yeah.
That's why it's yellow.
Yeah, the only reason I don't think so is he legitimately said, "I'll deal with it myself."
Yeah, I know, but I just thought it was funny because
exactly
yellow, gold.
Exactly.
All right, let's get to the big twist of the end of the episode.
Wait, before we get that, I want to say this, where it's like I get the belt hierarchy now. Because it's like, we haven't seen Glare again, but I'm going to assume, and this is my assumptions, I could be wrong, that it's obviously Desire Drivers for the players. Mm-hmm. The guns are for sponsors, so they can have somewhat of power if they really wanted to. Mm-hmm. And then you have the Game Master, which is Glare. Like, all Game Masters, I'm assuming, would just be Glare.
Maybe different colors, but...
Maybe slightly different colors. And then I feel like the producer, obviously, so he can, if he needs to fight, you know.
Because Lord Reginald's basically, like, the bigwig. Right?
Well, yeah, he's the one who gives the okays and nays, I guess.
He's basically, like, the producer, I guess you could
say. Yeah, that's what they called him, so.
I guess so.
So, yeah, big thing. Who the Disaster is, we know now.
It's Lopo.
Yeah, Tycoon called it episode.
I can't believe
first episode she was on.
Like both of my theories had like held up by the end of last episode. Like I was like, oh, I feel like Sparrow's kind of the obvious thing that they're going for, but I kind of want.
There's no way they're going with the first one.
I think they're gonna go for Geats for blah 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 reasons, but I also feel like it might be Lopo specifically because Tycoon was the one that pointed at them and he has stupid fucking luck, and I cannot believe that theory actually panned out. But,
and you find out she has disaster missions.
Their secret missions. And their secret mission was to throw a Jamato bomb at a player, which we saw happen with the apple. And
then we get our rule this week.
Knowing that, like, there are a couple scenes in it, like when Neon was like talking to their mom and hung up on them. Like, they were, like, in the background a little menacingly. It makes me wonder if, like, they were going to do something, but they, like, decided not to. Because if there's one thing that, like, I can really commend a lot on this show, not just Geats, I have noticed a lot of really good facial expression acting. You know, where it's, like, nothing is really being said and there isn't, like, a whole lot of big expressions, but, like, very subtle stuff that you notice. Like, oh, like, how, like, Geats has an eye twitch or something.
Uh-huh.
Like, and... I don't know exactly what the eye twitch means, but, like, I do notice it. And, like, Lopo, it really looks like they do not want to be doing what they are doing. Like,
But she's doing it so she can win.
But they kind of have to, because that's the only way that they can really win. They kind of just got dealt the short stick, apparently. And it honestly makes me feel bad, because, again, I am starting to really like this character. And we do see in the preview that, like, it seems like their family gets targeted next. And
so she might be voted off the island next week.
Yeah, and we do hear just like, please just save my family. So I wonder if they are going to like come clean and just be like, you can vote me off, but just please save my family kind of thing.
Yeah. Which that's just kind of sad. Which, by the way, something I was thinking about also when thinking about Geats, I think is very interesting. That at the end of the day, no matter what you can say, a lot of Geats' issues, and if you want to think of an actual villain, it has to be a human. You know what I mean? Like, the Jamato... Yes, the Jamato are monsters, but we're making these monsters.
Someone is giving the okay and allowing people to give them money to keep making these monsters in a horrific way.
Exactly. So it's like everything is like connected to humanity. It's like
It makes me wonder if Lord Reginald is basically going to be like the end villain. Just like consider the show canceled.
If he's not Gazer, because I feel like they're gonna add somebody higher up than him, so we have a game master or game producer, like is the top dog the game director or network director or something like that.
Maybe.
I guess we'll find out. Like
it's all Jim Henson all along.
Oh, he didn't die. He just ascended.
I don't think you mentioned the new rule. You mentioned it, but like you didn't actually say it.
Oh yeah, the new rule: the disaster has to follow secret commands.
Mm-hmm.
But
like, and again, like they have to. Like,
yeah, they're required to.
They will get kicked out of the game if they do not follow these missions.
We assume.
It's a rule. You break the rules, you get kicked out of the game.
I guess so. But yeah, no, and it's like I feel like that's something really an interesting aspect in Geats. Is just like I said, everything's so human. It's like you can't blame this on like an interdimensional thing or like, oh, demons made us do it, or where it's like these are legitimately, again, we're fabricating this game. Like even Neon's dad mentioning earlier, oh, she's contributing to world peace. Where it's like, but aren't we? It's like is the world in danger?
Yeah. From them.
Exactly. So it's so weird.
Was it on the podcast that I talked about like why Sparrow ended up being so wrong? Or was that on the podcast or was that?
I think it was.
Okay, because I just feel like, this is like that deeper meaning that I was talking about. No, because I remember I kept talking about like the deeper meaning, but that was after we watched this the first time, right?
Yeah, but you talked about it after Sparrow got knocked off, because you were using it as your example of like why, even though he wasn't the disaster, he still got kicked off because he was still.
It's like he thinks he's really smart, but like he doesn't see the bigger picture.
Exactly, he's just narrow-mindedly thinking. Mm-hmm. He's thinking on a technical level, not on a human level, I guess you could say. He's only considering certain factors, not the human mind. You know what I mean?
Human aspect behind it, not just the facts.
Which he was in the Jamato thing in the preview.
Yeah, we see him. Yay.
I don't know what the fuck that means. Fucking rat tail bowl cut motherfucker. I hate him.
Well, is there anything else you want to mention?
I'm excited for next week.
Yeah, lots of good stuff. I'm really sad Donbrothers is ending soon.
Yeah, but unlike Ultraman, at least its replacement will come in immediately.
That's nice. Again, the new stuff looks pretty cool.
I wonder if Gazer's gonna take over any people's minds, and then make them disappear.
I'm just wondering where Punk Jack went, Adam. Where did Punk Jack go?
I don't know. He's not dead yet, though. I haven't seen
a
body.
Like,
we haven't seen a body.
Where's Punk Jack?
Or a cracked ID core. So I'm not believing he's dead yet.
Where's Punk Jack, Adam?
I don't know.
Where's my boy? Where is my boy?
Where is my boy? But yeah, that's pretty much it for this week. Do you have a winner? Out of the two?
I don't know, man.
Both pretty good.
These were both really good episodes. Like, again, like, just, it's so good, man.
I feel so bad for Jiro.
Yeah, God, my freaking heart broke for them, man.
Yeah.
I'm shocked I didn't cry. I didn't even, like, get teary-eyed or anything, but, like, I was, like, feeling it, man. I was like, oh, fuck, this hurts.
But, yeah, no. Overall, a really solid week. If you guys could decide what episode you prefer, tell us down in the comments. Because, again...
Let us know your thoughts, man. This is getting really
Exactly. Good. Thoughts, theories. Who do you think Lopo's going to survive the next round? No, now that the audience, knows she's the disaster? Guess we'll find out.
I don't know. I wonder if we'll finally get an example of someone, like, yielding. Of just being like, I give up. I don't want to be a part of this anymore.
Yeah, it's like, what happens when they do reveal that they're the disaster? Like, you know what I mean? Like, are they immediately booted?
Or if they get revealed to be the disaster. Like, I imagine it's different if, like, it gets figured out, obviously. if other people say it, but it's like, oh, I wonder if there's a consequence.
As long as you you don't confirm it,
Something like that. But anyway.
So yeah, tell us down in the comments. Tell us your theories. Tell your thoughts. And until whatever we do next.
Thanks so much for listening.
Till next time. Bye. Bye-bye.